Between 1976 and 1986, the Golden State Killer, also known as the East Area Rapist, committed over 50 rapes, 12 murders, and multiple burglaries across California. The case went cold, but in 2018, a breakthrough in DNA technology led to the arrest of 72-year-old Joseph James DeAngelo. Joseph James DeAngelo was born on November 8, 1945, in Bath, New York. He grew up in a military family and later served in the Navy. DeAngelo worked as a police officer in Exeter, California, from 1973 to 1976, but was fired for shoplifting. DeAngelo's crimes began in 1976 with a series of burglaries and rapes in the Sacramento area. He was a master of stealth and manipulation. He operated with precision, always planning his attacks carefully to avoid detection. He would often target neighborhoods with a high concentration of single-family homes, typically striking between 10 p.m. and 3 a.m., when his victims were most vulnerable. On the night of an attack, DeAngelo would wear a mask, gloves, and a jacket to conceal his identity. He'd enter the home through an open window or door, sometimes using a crowbar to pry them open. Once inside, he'd bind and gag his victims with shoelace. DeAngelo's tactics were designed to instill fear and compliance. He'd often make his victims believe he was there to rob them, only to reveal his true intentions later.
It was about 6:30 in the morning. My husband was just leaving for work, and my 3-year-old son came out of his bedroom and got in bed with me to snuggle. Within 2 minutes, I saw a bright light shining down the hall and someone running down the hall. I hardly had time to react when I looked up, and there was a man wearing a ski mask, holding a large butcher knife. He proceeded to tie us both up, our ankles and our wrists, with shoelaces, and he gagged us both, and he blindfolded us both. I'm wondering, what is this guy contemplating? And he did it for the longest time. And then, as soon as he untied my ankles, then I knew what he was there for.
This psychological manipulation allowed him to maintain control and avoid confrontation. DeAngelo committed the first 44 rapes and 2 murders while still working as a police officer. His tenure as a police officer came to an abrupt end in 1979, when he was sacked from the Auburn Police Department in California for shoplifting a can of dog repellent and a hammer from a store. His first known attacks took place in the Sacramento area, where he committed a series of burglaries and rapes in the neighborhoods of Rancho Cordova, Carmichael, and Citrus Heights. As the investigation into the East Area Rapist, as he was initially known, gained momentum, DeAngelo began to expand his territory. He committed crimes in Contra Costa County, Alameda County, and even as far as Ventura County. Despite the growing number of attacks, the police were struggling to catch the perpetrator due to the fact that during the 1970s and 1980s, DNA technology was still in its infancy. DeAngelo was careful to leave behind few physical evidence, making it challenging for investigators to connect the crimes. Law enforcement agencies at the time also didn't have the same level of coordination and information sharing as they do today. This hindered the ability to identify patterns and connect the dots between different crimes. The investigation into the Golden State Killer's crimes was one of the largest and most complex in California history. In 2001, DNA evidence was collected from several crime scenes, but it didn't match anyone in the police database. In 2018, investigators used a new DNA technology called genetic genealogy to identify DeAngelo as the suspect. They uploaded the DNA profile to a genealogy website, GEDmatch, and found a match with a distant relative of DeAngelo. DeAngelo was arrested on April 24, 2018, at his home in Citrus Heights, California. He was charged with 13 counts of murder, 50 counts of rape, and over 100 counts of burglary. In June 2020, DeAngelo pleaded guilty to all charges and apologized to his victims present in the courtroom.
I've listened to all your statements. each one of them. And I'm truly sorry to everyone I've hurt. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir.
He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. If you find this video enlightening, kindly give it a thumbs up and subscribe.